region in the wake of Tuesday's Israeli strikes on Hamas targets in Doha. At the outset, let me be clear that this serious violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Qatar is unacceptable. We condemn these strikes in line with the press statement agreed by all Council members. It raises serious questions under international law. Your Excellency Prime Minister Al-Thani, Denmark expresses our most sincere solidarity with you, your government, and the people of the state of Qatar. Thank you for your presence here today and for your commitment to peace, mediation, and multilateral dialogue. I also welcome His Excellency Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Safadi and His Excellency Dr. Gagash to the Council. Mr. President, we've said it before, but it remains equally relevant today. With countless lives at stake across the Middle East, it is imperative that all parties exercise maximum restraint. The region can simply not afford further escalatory spiral of violence. Its people cannot and should not have to bear any more conflict and trauma. At this critical moment, we call on all parties to refrain from steps that risk igniting tensions and deepening regional instability. Diplomacy and dialogue must remain the first ports of call. Mr. President, around this table, we all regularly urge for restraint. All the while, the war in Gaza continues to rage. To be clear, this war must end immediately. Every effort must be made towards this objective, including from this Council. Every day, the devastating humanitarian consequences are made painfully clear. There's famine in Gaza. People are starving to death in Gaza. Civilian infrastructure is destroyed. The list of horrors is long. We have a responsibility to act as a Council, as an international community, as human beings. The immediate priorities remain threefold: an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire, the unconditional and dignified immediate release of all hostages, and the lifting of all restrictions on humanitarian aid into Gaza. All parties must work urgently towards achieving these aims. Mr. President, Denmark reiterates its firm condemnation of the terrorist attacks on October 7 perpetrated by Hamas. As we have repeated countless times, there can be no justification for this attack, nor for the undignified treatment of the hostages, and there can be no role for Hamas in Gaza. We have also consistently stressed that Israel's response must be exercised in full compliance with international law, including international humanitarian law. In closing, Mr. President, peace cannot be built on the rubble of destroyed buildings and cities, but on the firm foundation of dialogue and negotiation, a foundation that Qatar, along with the United States and Egypt, has been diligently and tirelessly working to create. These efforts have Denmark's full support. They offer a future that conflict never can, a future defined not by fear, not by a constant risk of escalation, but by stability for all countries and all people of the region. This is the challenge that the international community, and especially this Council, must rise to meet. This is not only demanded for the Council, but also the very mission of this organization. We must spare no effort to achieve it. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Denmark for the statement. I now give the floor to the representative of United Kingdom.
Thank you, President. And I'd like to thank USG De Carlo for her briefing today. I'd also like to warmly welcome to the Chamber His Excellency the Prime Minister of Qatar, His Excellency the Deputy Prime Minister of Jordan, and His Excellency Dr. Gargash of the UAE. I'll make 3 points. First, let me underscore this from the outset. The United Kingdom stands in full and unwavering solidarity with Qatar and condemns Israel's strikes on Doha. These strikes are a flagrant violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Qatar. They risk both further escalation across the region and setting back negotiations for a ceasefire. We offer our condolences to the families and friends of Qatari personnel who were tragically killed. Our thoughts are with their loved ones and with the injured. Qatar has long been a tireless broker for peace in the Middle East and beyond, and we commend the resolute commitment of His Highness the Emir to champion diplomacy and dialogue. So to reiterate, we wholly condemn the strikes on Qatar, which will do nothing to deliver peace in the Middle East or to help safeguard Israel's long-term security. My Prime Minister made this clear to President Herzog when they met yesterday. And like others, I welcome the clear message of support to Qatar that this Council has sent through our press statement today. Second, the UK has been clear that Hamas is a terrorist organisation, and we condemn the October 7 atrocities in the strongest terms. We reiterate that Hamas must release all the hostages, sign up to an immediate ceasefire deal, and commit to disarm. It can play no part in the future governance of Gaza. Third, with each day that passes, the hostages suffer in appalling conditions, and the people of Gaza endure starvation and repeated displacement. This week's evacuation orders across northern Gaza will worsen the humanitarian catastrophe. The Israeli government's decision to further escalate its offensive in Gaza is wrong, and today I reiterate that we urge Israel to reconsider immediately. We staunchly support the efforts of Qatar, the United States and Egypt to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza, to secure the release of the hostages and bring this conflict to an end. We urge all parties to re-engage meaningfully to reach a negotiated deal. We also need an urgent surge of humanitarian aid into Gaza. It is abhorrent that famine is unfolding in parts of Gaza City, and we need immediate action to prevent it from spreading further. Israel must lift all restrictions on aid and allow the UN to deliver life-saving aid at scale. President, the only way to achieve lasting peace and security for Palestinians and Israelis alike is through a political solution. The UK will continue to work with our partners to develop a framework for long-term peace consistent with a two-state solution. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the United Kingdom for the statement. I now give the floor to the representative of Slovenia.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I thank Under-Secretary General Di Carlo for her briefing. I welcome a number of high-level speakers, in particular Prime Minister of Qatar and Deputy Prime Minister of Jordan. Colleagues, sovereignty and territorial integrity of countries across the region violated. Security Council resolutions rejected. General Assembly processes ignored. ICJ decisions disregarded. Advisory opinions ignored. Civilians starved and killed. International mechanisms flouted. The UN pressured. Humanitarian and medical workers, journalists,